Welcome to another episode of Chattin with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Paris. What's up, Paris? How you doing?
Good, how's it going?
Thank you so much for joining me. A lot of people have requested for you to be on my show because they saw your Welcome to Minnesota video, and I appreciate that.
For sure.
Yeah, it was definitely a cold day that day.
It was a little cold.
Yeah, but you toughed it out. You're definitely a trooper. So let's get into it. You want to introduce yourself to the people and tell them who you are and where you're from?
Sure. I'm Paris. I am from the suburbs of Minneapolis, but I've been in Minneapolis for like 4 years and I came out here for rehab.
Oh, you came
And
out
now
here
I'm a
for rehab.
trooper. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
I just passed my,
sobriety is the best for me. I
for sure.
wouldn't change it for anything.
Yeah, I just got my 3 years back in February.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I was born in Minnesota, so I've always been here, but um, came out to Minneapolis when I was 18 for rehab, senior year of high school. It's like a life or death situation, just doing anything and everything you can think of. Got myself in some bad situations. So,
So
uh,
you were young doing this stuff.
oh yeah, I started when I was like 13, 14. But
Wow.
yeah, I got two older brothers. Parents are still together somehow. Close with my dad, not my mom. But yeah, got thrown in rehab and here I am.
What kind of situations were you getting yourself into
Oh
when
God,
you before you came to rehab? Was it like craziness? And if you can get into some of the situations that you were in?
for sure. Well, when I was like 17, I was living with two 40-year-old guys, which wasn't too hot. Um, they used to call me like Floor Paris was my nickname because every time I would go anywhere, like I would just end up on the floor. I was the last one out of any clubs, like stuff like that. I was into trafficking some things and
Was it alcohol that like progressed?
oh God, it was everything. I consider my DOC ketamine, but the last 2 months I don't remember much about anything other than I got to the point where I was taking 10 Xanax a day. I was doing cocaine throughout the day, ketamine throughout the day. I would drink like 175 of Bacardi or some cheap shit I could find,
Yeah.
and then we'd to fall asleep. So
Yeah, and then when you wake up, you do the same thing. Oh, you'd say
you
that I'll
have
never do
to.
this again, right? I'll never do it again.
Yeah,
And then by the time you feel a little bit better, you go right back and do the same thing over again.
yeah, you have to. Otherwise, those withdrawals. Ooh,
Yeah, I've been through it. It's terrible.
yeah.
So was there like a major event that made you look at your life and say, I really want to get clean?
Kind of. It was really weird. So my parents were gone for 2 months. My dad had cancer, and so they had to go down to a hospital and stay there for 2 months. So it was just my brother and I at the house, and then my brother got his own place. So really, it was just me at the house. And I remember just like being in my basement and I was like out of everything, couldn't even get weed, like everything I was out of. And I just like fell to the floor and I remember just like crying and like thinking like how the hell did I get here? And so next day went to school and like
You
horrible
went to
results.
school, so you're so young, you're going to school at this
Yeah.
time. High
Yep.
school.
Yep. High school. And I walked into high school, just horrible withdrawals and something like, oh God, as AA as this gonna sound, like something other than me, like it was not me, but like walked me into the drug counselor's office. I told her everything and she was like, have you ever thought of rehab? And I was so offended. I was like, me? Like, I don't need rehab. Are you kidding me? So I walked out. And then immediately after that, I planned out how I was going to go do heroin. Had the guy, had the place, had the money, had everything, because that was like the one I needed to like check off my mental list of drugs to do,
God.
and had it all planned out. Plans fell through, so ended up just going getting some other drugs for the night. Next day, go back to school, and yeah, again, just walked back into that office, and I was like, all right, I'll do it. And 3 days later, I was in rehab.
So did they send you to a different state?
No, no, I went to one here in Minnesota.
So is there a lot of people in the school, like children, that are dealing with the same thing that you were going through?
I would say so. Like, I went to the alternative learning center.
Yeah,
Um, so like basically one of the only girls who wasn't like pregnant. Um,
yeah.
but I would say in that environment there was definitely heavy using going on. Um, but obviously I can't speak for everyone.
Yeah.
But the crowd I was around, yeah.
I mean, what do you think the solution is for them to be away from drugs, the kids in school and stuff?
I mean, I don't think you can ever really fix it fully. But I think, at least for myself, like something that would have made a huge difference would just be like my upbringing, and like if my parents were more emotionally available, I
Yeah.
think I would have felt at least more comfortable to like talk to them about stuff, that the problems that led to the solution of drinking and using drugs so early on. Um, yeah.
At least you were smart enough to get out of your own way. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people, they're young and they think they know it all and they don't need to hear it from other people. They don't need to learn anything. You go to rehab in Minnesota.
Yep.
Are you still in contact with the same people, or are you trying to like, so like when you were in your active addiction, did you leave the state? Did you go travel around?
A little bit. Um, More, yeah, a little bit, not so much. Like, I pretty much stayed in Minnesota for the most part, around the same group of people. Like, my parents didn't really worry about me, and they trusted me a ton. And so they're like, oh, like, she's fine, you know? So as long as I would text them, like, oh, I'm home, you know, they wouldn't check. They didn't know. They didn't care. They just like trusted me. So, like, I would go around, but for the most part, I just stayed in the cities here.
When you went to rehab, what were your friends thinking? Did they express any feelings towards you? Were they surprised that you wanted to go to rehab and get your life together?
Um, my best friend who's still my best friend to this day. Um, she was a little surprised. I remember her asking me like, "You'll still be able to like drink with me when you get out, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, duh." You know, my plan was to go to rehab and then go back and be able to use drugs and alcohol like a
Yeah.
normal person.